Well, ladies and gentlemen, so today we are going to be covering our conjunction of Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Ketu. And what happens when Moon, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Ketu. Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Ketu are conjunct in your horoscope. All right, just get the point. It's too complicated for me at this age. But we're going to be discussing this conjunction. And if you do not know if you have this conjunction, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the other astrological details, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, include my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where now I'm going into yogas. Then I'm going to be jumping into dashas by next week. So, this particular 6 planetary conjunction, which I just can't announce it chronologically, because I'm old. You gotta forgive me on that. I'm old now. Anyway, so when you have this conjunction, this is actually a pretty strong conjunction for someone who feels disconnected from all the areas of their life. They feel disconnected from their lineage, their divinity, their religion, their friends, their spouse, their friends. And they may actually operate normally in the world. But what happens is they feel the disconnect, like, why am I not feeling the same amount of connection with people in my life that my friends do or my colleagues do? There's always this disconnect. Why? Because with all these conjunctions, with the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, you have Ketu element in there. Ketu's gonna start cutting and separating all of those things. You will not feel connected with your spouse. You will not feel connected with your husband, because this is a particular conjunction that kind of takes a person through this path of discernment. They will always discern, what do I need to cut out and what do I need in my life? And even when it comes to divinity, it's not like they will be atheists. No, you'll find some really spiritual people in this, but you will not find hardcore religious people with this particular conjunction. But mind feels cluttered. Mind feels kind of distraught, because the thing is, as human beings, we want to connect things in our life. It's all about connection. It's all about that Saravan quality, and Saravan Nakshatra is actually controlled by the moon, and moon becomes very important here because it's manas, it's our mind, it's how we perceive things in our self. It's how we kind of like, picturize things and calculate things in our mind, because Mercury, the calculations is there. But usually these people can make great mathematician. They can make great physicist. They can make great spiritualists and philosophers. Why? Because they are so disconnected from what they're learning in the world, what they're relating to in the world, because they see the world from outside, like a globe. They're like, okay, forget everybody, all the information that is around me, the noise. I want to go outside in space and look at this world. What is it about? What is religion? What is God? What is divinity? What is these land masses? And then when they come up with their theory, they come up with quite an astonishing outer world theory. But really, this is a researcher. You're talking about a researcher here, because Ketu loves to research. Why? Because Ketu originally controls the nakshatra of Mula, which is about going deep into things, going to the root level of things. It controls the nakshatra of Magha, which controls about the lineage, the past. You really want to know how the past was by digging deep into things. And obviously, Ketu rules Ashwini Nakshatra as well, which is about wanting to dive into things and kind of like saving people from situations, like saving people from following crap, saving people from following the routine. So again, it's a very unorthodox conjunction, but like I have always said before, whenever you have 4 or more planets conjunct in a chart, a person is confused. You just can't change it. They're going to be confused. And the only way they find that path is through the planet or through the graha that kind of affects the conjunction the most. So like in a 6 planetary conjunction, Rahu will affect the most, Ketu will affect the most, Saturn will affect the most, and Jupiter will affect the most. But here Ketu kind of overpowers Jupiter in that discernment. So Ketu really becomes a dominating factor. You need to kind of like appreciate Ketu. So that's where the confusion will start untying itself, because you're like, okay, Ketu having this conjunction in my chart, I should now be looking at everything by separating things, cutting things out, kind of like taking all these blocks of planets out and seeing the clearer picture. So it's not like these conjunctions can be confusing lifelong. It will be if you do not know how to work through them. You just got to know how to work through them, because the reason why these 4 planets become very strong in a conjunction is because their orbits are very long. They take time in their orbit. So whatever takes time, the longest time, will have that longest say, will have the prominent say in that home. Because it's like out of 5 roommates, 1 stays in that home the longest, while other kind of leave and come and go. So with Saturn, if Saturn would be involved in this conjunction, Saturn will have that strongest discernment. Okay. One thing I also see, if you have this conjunction in your 4th and 10th axis, absolutely you will have dealing with either split personality, you will deal with bipolar disorder, or you just have quite a bit of psychological issues by the way you grew up in your life, or by the way society treated you. One of these will become very prominent. So wherever this axis is, those are the houses that will affect you the most. Those are the axis point that will be always playing out 24/7 in your life. Okay. So guys, this was my analysis of 6 planetary conjunction. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you don't know where your conjunction is placed, all your books, reports, consultations, check out the links here, where I also have my new reading called My Unique Reading. It's like the most amazing, but yet the most awkward reading you can see, because it really shows you about how only 4 planets you deal with in life. That's it. Just 4 planets. Others just come and go and kind of like manipulate those situations a little bit, but it will be as is with those 4 planets. But anyway, hope this conjunction description helped. We'll see you next time with Moon in the Ascendant for Cancer Ascendant. Okay? Bye-bye.